In today's video, I'm going to break down exactly what are the 7 to 8 key indicators that I use to outperform the Indian stock market. What are they? How do I use them? And why do I use them in the first place? I'm also going to show you guys the news terminal that I have built from scratch using Claude and what exactly does that help me with. So let's get started with today's video without any further delay. Now we'll start firstly with my Claude terminal. So as you guys can see over here, I have built this terminal and I'll just move my camera as well. So it is Prelude's terminal, and you can see very clearly that this is my news terminal. So what this shows me is exactly the news that is flowing into the markets. What are the earnings news? What are the geopolitical news? What is going on in the pharma space, for example? So let's just go through it, right? I have Nifty 50, the small cap 100, FII, DII flows as they update will update on its own. This is yesterday's gold and USD INR, right? Following on, I also have what are the earnings reports looking like. So Bandhan Bank Q1 profit jumps 35% as provisions decline sharply. Now, if I want to actually go to the article, I can press on this link and it will take me to the article. I can show that to you as well right there, right? So this is what I have coded using Claude. You can do the same. It's really not that difficult. Like another one is crude oil prices rise 2% on fresh attacks by US and Iran. So this is a geopolitical issue, right? Then pharma space, Adani Energy Solutions among 4 large caps that hit 52-week highs and rallied up to 16% in a month. Ideally, what this is all of my news flow in the click of one button. It scrapes all of the data across the internet, and all that I have to do is have a look at it. I can also have a look at the global cues. So what is the Dow Jones looking like? What is the S&P 500 looking like? What is the Nikkei looking like? The Hang Seng. I have to add the Kospi to this code as well. That's what I'm going to do next, right? So I have my global news tracker, which includes earnings, which includes banking and finance. So if I take you to the M&A space, for example, then you can see that today, for example, our SBI funds IPO has, launched. So you can see SBI funds share list below GMP expectations, but streets see up to 23% of an upside, right? I have got an allotment in SBI funds. So reading these articles, if even though they don't necessarily mean anything, but they help me understand what is the general emotion going on in the markets as of right now. So this is something that I have coded using Claude, and this is the first indicator that I use. So I'm just going to add it to the list. So as you guys can see, indicator number 1 is going to be the news terminal, right? Now let's go on to TradingView and understand what are the different indicators that I use it. Now, what do I use a news terminal for? Self-explanatory. I use it to get to gather my news. How do I use it? I use it by simply I used Claude Pro and I told it to use Python and create this sort of news terminal for me. That's what it did. And why do I use it? Again, I use it to understand what are the emotions in the market, what is the street saying about certain stocks, whether I have holdings in them, what is the news flow for my holdings, all of that jazz. Okay, now let's move to the second indicator that I use. And the second indicator that I use, if I take you guys to TradingView, is simply the ADR indicator. Right now, the ADR indicator is of extreme importance to me. So the ADR percentage. Now, how do you get this? Simply, you can just type ADR percentage into sort of the indicators idea into the indicator space in TradingView. But what I have done is I have used the ADR slash RVol slash PVol, something like this. It's called. The indicator name is swing data, right? So you guys can go ahead and look at that as well if you would want. So that is the ADR one that I use. What do I use it for? I use it to understand what exactly is the average movement of a stock. How do I use it? Simply just using the TradingView indicators. And why do I use it? I use it because it helps me understand what is the average range of a stock, right? Now, if my stop loss is more than the ADR of a stock, that doesn't make sense because it's not adding up. My stock can hit the stop loss very easily because it's already within that ADR, above that ADR range. But apart from that, it also helps me understand whether the stock has thrust. Is this a name that has the ability to make big moves, or is it going to be one of them that is just a slow mover? So for those reasons, I use ADR. Now, the next one that I use is actually going to be the QE Ultra indicator. Now, this is an indicator that I've gotten off of Twitter, right? So it is an indicator. I think it's by Equity Craze. And what this does is that it gives me a couple of things that I want. Firstly, it gives me the earnings reports, right? So I get all of the earnings reports right on my TradingView desk, which is fantastic. And it also gives me price bands. Now, there are a couple of free options out there, but I really like the layout and the UI of this particular one, so I've decided to pay for it. What do I use it for? Simply to get the earnings reports and price bands. How? I've used the one by Equity Craze. It is available on Twitter. And why do I use it? I use it because honestly, this price band factor is super important for me. Earnings reports are still not that important. I only look at sort of the P ratio, the EPS and the PAT. But the price bands are super important for me because I really need to know whether a stock is in the 5% circuit, the 20% circuit, the 10% circuit, right? And that helps me because I don't tend to trade 5% circuit names. So it helps me just understand exactly what is going on in the stock and whether there can be an upside in terms of momentum. Now, the fourth one that I sort of use is going to be the multiple EMAs. Very basic indicator, right? But one of the most useful indicators out there. Now, the multiple EMAs is simply just a trading view indicator, right? You can use any one out there, but I use it for understanding what are these important support points of this particular stock. So RP Tech, for example, I can see that the stock has a tendency, right? It moved up very well in a very parabolic manner on superior volumes over here. And then it catches up with the 10 and the 20-day moving average, right? So I understand with the moving averages that this stock potentially wants to move from the 20. Let's see if it can bounce from here, get tight with the 10, and then give another parabolic move because on the way up, this is probably supporting the 5-day moving average. So I use the MAs to actually understand where is the stock's support. Is it the 10? Is it the 5? Because these MAs act as very, very solid supports for stocks, and this has been seen multiple times on end. Now, the next one that I use is actually the winning edge. Now, this particular indicator is proprietary, right? This is for the community members and for me. In fact, this has still not been given to the community members solely because I'm still experimenting and testing with it. But what this does is it puts all of my entry criteria in front of me. And this is the most important indicator that I have developed so far, right? Because this really helps me understand what is happening in terms of the stock. Because I realize whenever I track my mistakes, right, I've understood that there are certain things that I miss out on. And that is usually to do with my entry criteria because sometimes emotions can take over. So having this in front of me has been fantastic and it's really changed my accuracy in trading. So I really like this one. Now, the sixth one that I use is actually simply volume, right? Volume, another simple trading view indicator, right? Very simple to find this one. Basic indicator tells me what is going on in the stock, how much volume has come in, and things like that. However, there are a couple of limitations with this plain volume indicator, and that is why I have two fantastic indicators that once again I have coded and is proprietary, and these ones have been given to the community. And that is firstly Vol Ultra, and the second one is Volume Crore. Right. So what these indicators do for me is give me detailed insights on what volume is looking like. Now, Vol Ultra tells me average rupee volume, RVol, and volume of the day. And volume crore, I can just hover and it will tell me what is the volume on that day in terms of rupees crore, right? And that is fantastic. These two indicators changed my analysis of volume action in respect to price. So these are the 8 indicators that I have been using to genuinely level up my trading, right? Initially, when I started out, the only indicators that I used to use was basic volume from TradingView and SMAs from TradingView. As I've developed over the years as a swing trader, I have realized that these are some of the indicators that are, priceless to me. So going forward, I'm pretty sure I will elevate them even more and I will get better at it. And sorry, I forgot one more indicator that I use, right? And this one is by Finally Nathan. This one is percentage of stocks above MAs. So I use this particularly to understand the market breadth, right? And the ones that I use is going to be, I think it's the 20 and the 200. So these are the ones that I use. Fantastic indicator, right? Beautiful indicator and looks so aesthetic as well on my chart. Actually, I'll show it to you guys right here. So as you guys can see, this is the indicator that I've been using from Finally Nathan. Fantastic indicator, tells me exactly when the markets get oversold, when the markets get overbought, Right now, I can tell that there is increasing divergence in the market. Index is going high, breadth is going low, but I'm waiting for the 200-day to reclaim the 50 percent mark, and then I think it will become fantastic once again. But overall, these are the indicators that I have used that have actually changed my trading, right? These 8 or 9 indicators actually have completely changed my trading and have taken me from being a novice to in what I consider would be a professional, right? These 9 indicators have changed everything for me. So that's it for today's video. Thank you for watching for so long. Once again, if you've liked the video and the content, please consider liking and subscribing because the subscribing count has been fantastic. Honestly, I'm really excited to see how much people are, engaging. Of course, there are going to be the negative ones here and there, but we tend to ignore those and look at the positive ones because I'm really trying to, create an impact and teach people and really help. So like, subscribe, comment, and if you would like to learn with me, you can always join the Telegram community. The link will be in the description box and also in the pinned comments. Thank you so much for joining today's video, and I will see you guys in the next one. Let me know what you want to see next, and I will deliver that for you. Thank you so much.